you can run this stuff. Has like something that is run. It has an OS that is making it to run. So you can create like an you can instead of using what comes with this, you can like create a kind of program that tells this thing that, okay, instead of working on this stuff, you can use like another virtual machine and it should display something else inside this place. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but that's what cross-platform is. Cross-platform basically creates a virtual machine for your applications to run on. So with cross-platform applications, you can build your applications with React Native, Flutter, and there are new stuff coming on like KMM, Kotlin, multi-platform, and the Skip. Skip is basically iOS way of doing things also with cross-platform. So I'll talk about React Native, I'll talk about Flutter and the rest. So basically, React Native is let's take for instance you are coming from the web. I didn't really talk much about web, but when you are coming from the web, there's also frameworks on the web that you can use to build web applications. There's what is called React. So React is basically the web framework. When you go to Instagram was built. A lot of web applications were built on React. So when you go on Instagram, Instagram was built with React. React was basically introduced by it was introduced by Facebook, or Meta as they are called now. So so with React, it uses JavaScript and TypeScript to build applications on the website. But let's take for instance you want to learn web development and you also want to learn mobile development. React Native helps you to build web components on the mobile devices, and it's so you don't have to learn another language when you already know JavaScript or TypeScript to build web applications. So I'll be talking about Flutter next. So Flutter is another is another it's another framework developed by Google for building mobile applications. So with okay, seems I already have it here. So with this, you can see some examples of games, applications that was built with Flutter from the Flutter homepage. But one beautiful thing about Flutter is that you can use it to write multiple things. You can use it to write mobile, web, desktop, embedded, you can use it to build embedded system also. So, like I said before, Flutter is an open source framework developed by Google for building beautiful natively compiled and multi-platform applications from a single code base. So, instead of having multiple code bases that you're using to build web applications, you're using to build iOS, you're building on Android, you're building for you want to build on Windows or your Mac, you can basically use Flutter, and Flutter is relatively simple to learn compared to, let's say, you're working on the native side. So all you have to do is to have, when you render a button on Flutter, it basically works for Android, iOS, the web, Windows, and Mac, basically. So that's what Flutter does. So I'll be talking about how you can get started with programming if you want to get started with programming. So there are basically different ways to get started with as a programmer or a software developer. You can start by basically using different channels for to educate yourself. You could use you could use Facebook. You could use YouTube, to get courses, you just have to have like a streamlined outline of what you want to learn, and then you can go on YouTube and like search for stuff you want to learn. You can also use Udemy. You can use Udemy. You can use